thought it would be interesting to share this experience of having gone into lockdown much before the actual lockdown. It has nothing to do with the corona. But yes, I think as artists we all go into these lockdown spaces. So I visited this space which was a complete lockdown, where you just could not paint, you could not write. Not only that, you didn't even know why you painted and what kind of subjects, and how could you even take some paint and just start painting. What is this? Why would anybody do that? Who painted? From these lockdown spaces, some questions will arise. When you don't do something anymore, which you normally did with such ease, these questions arise. And what is the question? Who painted? What painted? How did you paint? How is it even possible to write a poem or to paint on a large canvas? The colors, the technique, nothing existed. Everything just wiped out, like a compartment that goes into shutdown mode. So I did go through that space for a long time, almost a year. So it is not a joke. It's a terrible space, but the answer that arose from that space was very simple, and that is, who wrote? Love wrote. It is that energy inside you. It is that feeling which makes you want to connect to the flower or the leaf or the bud or the cat or the whatever it is that you want to paint or write about. That which pulls your attention and makes you, grabs you and takes you there and creates a bridge for you. It just pushes you from inside. Realize that source, that is the source. It starts there. It is not the whole painting. It starts there. The source is, call it love or any other word that you want. But this is what you feel. It has a feeling in it. The words are being overused and used at the wrong time, at the wrong place. We've been doing that to words, along with destruction of everything else that we find around us, the environment and lakes and rivers, and so we do that to everything that we touch upon. But anyway, so it flows through you. It is the source. It comes out through you as a feeling or a want to touch something, feel something, see something. And you lose yourself in that process. So creativity is a verb. We know that. It's not just a picture on the wall. The process is not so very beautiful, but then people do it because it is ultimately, it opens doors for you. There is an understanding of what you have gone through, what you have experienced. So art is that bridge that completes man. When this feeling pours through you and you paint, you are in the right hemisphere of your brain. You moved on from one compartment to the other compartment. So left brain aerobics we've been doing for a long time, and we've ended up here destroying everything. So right brain aerobics is definitely what we need. Like the scientist Said I forget his name though. Right brain aerobics is art. You have to strengthen that part of you. Here's a poem I wrote. Like it or not, hear it or not, see it or not, man, the mutant shredder. For long sits the mutant shredder, the new age virus, shackled to blue screens and fantastic schemes. For long, a super bass Sennheiser cups its ears, blocking out the other, muffling out back and tails. A loved one's sigh. 404 error status code. No such page is found. Purrs the wise old computer in contentment. So now what to do? You don't even feel anything. You don't even think that there is a page like that. It doesn't exist anymore. We've gone so very far. We're so modernized and contemporary and whatnot, what words we use. So we've forgotten all this, the source of it. So basically we've burnt and stamped out words along with the environment and the rivers and the lakes, corrupted them by overusing them. We have no value for what each word stands for. So when you say love, it's like, what? Love? It's so cliched. What do you mean by love? We don't like such words anymore. But these words came because they had a feeling to it. You feel something, you felt something, you experienced something. There's a vibration to that word. It comes from there, from deep within us. And there's a feeling attached to it. Now you remove that feeling, that word has nothing in it. It's empty. It's a shell, like the food that we eat these days, the polished grain without the bran. So this love that flows through you, it is the foundation, or this energy that flows through you, it is the foundation. And it touches everything, the plants, the animals, because it's there everywhere. Only we thought that we were separate. And when you look at something, a flower, a plant, when you really look at something and connect with it, and you feel it, the petals, the softness of the petals, the edges are a little serrated. If it's a carnation that you're looking at, the sun is falling on it, the different hues, sparkles. It's tender, it is soft, it is kind, it is loving, and you start bonding with it. You have a relationship with it. Without a relationship with things, we're nothing. We're dead if we cannot create relationships with. That's why we don't feel for anything, because we don't have a relationship with the tree or the river. So you will pollute everything. Otherwise, if I have a relationship with the tree, it will bleed me if you cut that tree. Otherwise, I don't feel it. So that feeling is important, and when that goes off, everything gets destroyed. You don't mind if everything gets destroyed, or you're so blind to it. So in this process of communicating with nature, you feel all this, the tenderness of the petal, and the words that you use to describe the tree or the petal is exactly what you are. You are not separate from it. In that moment, you are not separate from it. It's a feeling, it's the experience of being one with that, and you are that. Now it can also be a dried leaf, and it's not so very beautiful. It's dry and brown, it's chocolatey, and it's wrinkled and dirty and ugly and spotted and torn and wounds and gashes. And you see the whole journey of that leaf from the pink little leaves to dark green leaves, and you see the summer and spring and fall and death. It's not very beautiful, but that's what it is. Here's a poem of getting lost in the other. I'm the night owl's fierce cackle, and in me the aphids bloom. I am alive, my red blood, in the soup bowl I served you. I am alive, my brown leaves floating in your brown skin. Today, I must ask this garden that I am, who sows the seeds? Who waters, weeds and prunes me, this unruly sketch that I am? Who put the sparrow there, its notes beating fast in my chest? So now you are forced to create those strands of thread from one box to the other. You moved from that sacred space and you just wandered around for a long time, and now you're slowly coming back, and you have to weave that thread day by day, every day, little by little. You're waving it back because you got lost. Like before, when you go to a temple, I always get lost looking at the stalls there selling all those beautiful trinkets and bangles, and so now that's what you're doing. You're going back to that sacred space that you left. You didn't know it was sacred then. Now you know it. So here's another poem. So you're breathing very slowly because you know how it is when you focus, when you put a thread through a needle and you cannot breathe at that time. Same as when you are in communion with something, you don't breathe. Here's a bit of a poem. Slow and steady, says the rigid phantom ring, the COVID ring. Now you breathe with me, and in stillness. Now you don't, and in madness. Breathless, turn towards a breath enshrined. Breathless, remember love enshrined. In a glass of water, a loved one served. Breathless, remember the lexicon of pain sketched into corners of eyes. And then just yet, I might as well believe that I am the breath. Fair enough. In a larger breath, in a larger breath, breathing, breathed, live and love. What else? So that's what it is. Relationships, the bonds that we create with each other. The botanist Goethe defined a leaf as that which has a bud at its angle, and he defined a stem as that which bears leaves. So it's always in relation to something else. It's very scientific. It's a scientific definition. And what do you think would be the definition for a human being? hands, ears, eyes, nose, face, body, legs. Is that what a human being is? Obviously not. So we are made up of air and water and fire and earth. This is the relationship that we have. And even though we are made up of all that, we have gone around killing the air in us, the water in us, the fire in us, everything in us and around us. So we are a very strange virus, definitely. No doubt about that. So deep down we are connected by the divine ratio, the pi ratio, deep inside us. That is there in us and in the plants. And outside us we are connected by stories and our relationships with others and with nature. So that's the weave within which we sit. Sit, it said, a COVID breath. Sit with a father, a mother. Sit with a daughter, a son, a husband, wife, friend or foe. Simply sit within a weave. In a weave of a weave. Sit, doggy, sit. Why? Because here, look, the clownfish and the anemones live together. Here, look, the sharks and cleaner fish. They are in it together, living together. A river indebted to the contours of a bank. A rain cloud to a mountain peak. Who came first, the bumblebee or flowers? The ravens or the wolves that fed them? So see, please see the moon lit by the sun, or the moon that allows to be lit. See the roots embrace the soil, or see the soil that embalms. See that we are in it together, a symphony at play. See that there's room for the other. In it together, there's room for the other.